Friday is upon us. We're on the cusp of the weekend. First weekend in April is on the way. Right now we have to get through Friday, 4th day of April, 2025. I'm Dan Koontz, and a beautiful weekend is in store for everybody in our viewing area. We popped all the way up to 62 yesterday. We'll be at least that today. Slightly warmer on Saturday, warmer still on Sunday, although by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, the clouds will begin to move their way in. We're under the influence of a ridge of high pressure. It's not real big, but there's also nothing really out there to knock it out of alignment, but it is going to be gone by the end of the weekend. But enjoy. If you enjoyed yesterday, you're going to love today. You're going to love Saturday. Most of Sunday. Lots of sunshine. Looks good. Forecast details are coming up. Looking forward to it. It's going to be really hard to stay inside today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Who's kidding who? News, yes. Sports, mostly what's coming up and not what already happened. For one thing, the Mariners didn't play yesterday. They had the day off, first day off of the year. Kraken didn't play. They don't play again until tomorrow. But there's a full slate of prep sports to preview, and we will have prep sports tonight, specifically soccer. Moses Lake in town. Ed leave off the field at the Apple Bowl to take on the Wenatchee Panthers. Wenatchee Panthers have not lost a match this year. Playing pretty good soccer. They're 5-0. And we'll see if they can make it to 6-0. Moses Lake will give them a big challenge. We'll have that for you tonight, 6:45. Pre-game, 7 o'clock is when they'll get things going at the Apple Bowl with Matt Wisen and Sebastian Moraga on the call. Mike Benatti has got an opinion about Facebook. He's on it. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. And somebody who's never been on this show before, looking forward to this. Her name is Darcy Christofferson. She's the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. It's less than 3 weeks away. It starts on the 24th, so here we go, the 106th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Right on our doorstep, we'll talk all cool things festival with our good friend Darcy Christofferson in the back half of the program. Cameras should be looking pretty good this morning. They always look good. They look even better when we can see stuff. You can see less cloud cover this morning than we had yesterday morning, and the clouds that we had yesterday morning didn't really last very long. It was a lovely day. Yeah, we hit 62 yesterday. Our normal high is 58. Our overnight low was pretty much normal, right at 39. We're at 37 right now. Sunrise this morning about a half an hour ago, 6:33. Sunset tonight, 7:35. If my math is correct, we're past the 13-hour mark of daylight. 13 hours and 3 minutes to be precise. An additional 3 minutes and 23 seconds in the books than what we had yesterday. I like that. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley from our most used camera by far up at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. Let's see what else Josiah has in store for us today. That's got to be the Waterville camera. Got to be the Waterville camera. Pan, tilt, and zoom. We can pan them. We can tilt them. We can zoom them. And that means we say good morning to Entiat. Good morning to Entiat. The snow continues to recede in the upper mountains. Way off into the distance in the upper left-hand corner is the Wenatchee Valley. And Mission Ridge still has some snow. Beautiful view of Lake Entiat and the reservoir behind Rocky Ridge Dam. Good morning to Entiat. Thanks for starting your day with us from our Waterville camera. Camera number 3 is located there. Back to Leavenworth we go. Tune in early next week. We're going to talk to the organizers of the Celtic Festival. They've never done this before, but they're going to have it at the Fest Hall in Leavenworth next weekend. It's an interview you don't want to miss. We'll have that for you next week. Alice and her husband are coming into town to talk to me. Looking forward to that. Good morning to Leavenworth, the Bavarian Village. And camera number 4, up to Billy Goat, USA. Omak, you're at 28 right now. It is a little chilly, of course. There's nothing to hold the heat in. There's no blanket, so it's pretty cool up to the north of us, 28 degrees in Omak. But you're going to have a nice day today as well. Beautiful view there. Hello, Pateris. Hello, Brewster. Hello, Republic. Hello, Tenasket. Hello, Omak. Hello, Okanagan. Hello, everybody to the north of us. And I sure wish we could show you the Methow Valley, but I've talked about this before. The tower that camera sits on is to the left of what you see there. So if we panned the camera over to the left to show you the Methow Valley, all you would see was a big chunk of aluminum because, well, that just happens to be where the tower is. You got to put it someplace, I suppose. So you can't go a whole 360. It's more like about a 345. So there you go there. We have a nice weekend in store, so much so the National Weather Service said, here's a little something to make you feel spring-like. For most of our viewing area, we will be in the lower 60s. We had 62 yesterday. That's pretty close to what we're going to be today. Maybe a skosh lower because we're off to a cooler start. Saturday, lower 60s at least, maybe even the mid 60s, and will be warmer still on Sunday. It's going to be mild next week as well, but the big difference is more clouds and a better chance of rain, but just in time for the weekend. I think it's going to be the nicest weekend of the year, quite frankly. From the National Weather Service, your forecast looks like this. Lots of sunshine, just about the 60-degree mark. Again, we're off to a cooler start. It's going to take us a little while, but the longer days are going to help. And just a few high clouds. That's about it. No wind at all to speak of. 36 for the overnight low tonight, so it's going to be slightly below normal. Lower 60s with lots of sunshine. On Saturday, just a few high clouds popping by here and there. Overnight low on Saturday night, 42. We'll see a few more clouds there, and it's going to be warmer, so it won't get as cold overnight Saturday into Sunday as it will tonight into Saturday. Sunday, most of the day looks quite a bit of sunshine. By mid to late afternoon, the clouds will begin to roll in. By sunset Sunday night, it will be fairly cloudy, and by the time we get to midnight Sunday night, transitioning into Monday, we have a good chance of some rain. So it'll probably rain overnight Sunday night into Monday, lots of clouds to go along with it, but about a 60% chance of rain Sunday night into Monday. That chance of rain continues to about 40% on Monday, but we'll see a few sun breaks. The rain on Monday, if it does develop, will be in the morning hours. It'll be gone Johnson by about noon or so. As you can see, right around 60. Temperatures hovering just above normal to right around normal for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But the clouds and the sun are going to do battle. And for the most part, the sun's going to win, but the clouds are going to have something to say about that. And a lingering chance of rain on Tuesday as well. But again, beautiful weekend coming up. And there's a lot of things to do this weekend as well, almost all of it outdoor related. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, the news on this Friday. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour. We'll call it filtered sunshine. There are some high clouds out there, 37 degrees, right around 60, 61, pretty close to it. We're going to basically repeat Thursday all over again. Warmer still on Saturday, warmer still on Sunday, but increasing clouds by Sunday afternoon. But all in all, going to be a beautiful weekend. It's almost 10 minutes after the hour. The Wenatchee School Board will soon be back to 5 full members. Last night, they appointed Mark Belton to the open District 4 position. Belton is the Procurement and Contract Services Supervisor for the Chelan County PUD. He was one of 4 finalists selected to be interviewed by the board. Belton has previously worked in administration for both the Eastmont and Shoreline school districts. He's involved in local theater productions, and he serves on the board of Small Miracles, which provides lunch to kids in the summertime. The other interviewees, writer Alyssa Bones, case manager Carrie Gavin, and fish biologist McLean Johnson. Belton will be sworn in on April 22nd. He'll serve on the board. If he wants to stay in the job, he'll have to run for election come November. Democrats in charge of the Washington legislature are back to the drawing board. Governor Bob Ferguson says he's rejecting one of their key tax proposals to address a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit. From our Olympia News Bureau, Murrow News fellow Albert James reports on the path forward and the Republican opposition that lies ahead.
Neither budget, however, is close to one that I can sign for two key reasons.
The governor made it clear Tuesday that proposals from the House and Senate Democrats had far too much in taxes, and a proposed wealth tax couldn't be used to close the budget shortfall because it's legally untested. House Democratic Finance Chair April Berg says the tax proposed by the House would stand up in court. She also believes a compromise is possible on the tax, as the governor said he would be open to a discussion on a smaller attempt to test its legality.
It's a conversation point. Most conversations don't happen at podiums with microphones. They're going to happen in rooms like this where we sit and we talk as equals about what's best for Washingtonians and what's the best way forward.
With the wealth tax potentially bringing in less than expected revenue, Berg says it's hard to know what alternative revenue proposals could be floated. That's because the governor hasn't sent over a note of concerns outlining his thoughts on the other Democratic revenue proposals, including new business taxes and growing property tax revenue. Ferguson's office said it would be released Thursday or Friday.
I don't want to get it over my skis on this one, but I think just waiting, looking at the letter again. We've had the press conference. Now we'll have the letter coming, and then we'll kind of go from there as policymakers.
Senate Republican budget leader Chris Gildon argues his caucus's budget proposal without any new taxes is better aligned with what the governor wants. The senator criticized all the Democratic revenue proposals, especially lifting the 1% cap on property tax revenue growth.
This is going to be a values judgment that the majority party is going to have to make. Do they value increasing taxes for literally no good reason, or do they value affordability for the people of Washington state?
The Senate Thursday appointed a conference committee to work with the House to resolve their differences and produce one budget. Gildon was appointed to that committee, but criticized the process as substantially changing the budget behind closed doors and saying Republican members aren't typically invited to conference meetings.
The remaining legislators in Olympia will not have a chance to weigh in on it. We will just have a chance to vote yes or no at the end of session.
Berg says the conference process has produced good budgets and Republicans are absolutely involved in the budgeting process. In Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell has partnered with a senior Republican to push back on President Donald Trump's massive package of international tariffs. The presidential order is announced on Wednesday to levy at least a 10% import tax on all goods brought into the country, and as high as 30 to 40% on some nations. As you probably know by now, financial markets have reacted rather poorly to the tariffs, and foreign countries are exploring their own tariffs on American goods in retaliation. But Congress holds the power to revoke tariffs. So Cantwell, a Democrat, introduced legislation yesterday with Republican Senator Chuck Grassley to end all tariffs within 60 days unless Congress votes to reauthorize them. The Senate already voted 51 to 48 yesterday to overturn Trump's tariffs against Canada.
We cannot have arbitrary policies create chaos and uncertainty. These kinds of chaos and uncertainty kill business investment and make for very challenging stock market assessments of investments for the future based on predictability. The current approach, in my opinion, is outside the predictable rules-based system. It's arguable that the current approach is literally a misconstruction of statutory authorities.
City of Leavenworth is hosting a wildfire preparedness workshop. It's going to be next week. The idea, of course, to educate people who live in and around Leavenworth on wildfire safety tips. The informational event will be held at the council chambers of City Hall at 5 o'clock on April 9th. Topics covered will include emergency alerts, evacuation in refugee areas, homeowner preparedness, and more. Representatives from the Chelan County Fire District, the United States Forest Service, and more will be present to answer questions. And if you can't make it, don't worry. It will be recorded so you can watch it later. Folks in our parts, you may see a helicopter flying low and slow over the Wenatchee foothills next week. The helicopter is owned by Michaels Pacific Energy, and they have been hired by the Chelan County PUD to assist with replacing numbered tags along transmission lines that run from Saddle Rock all the way to Springwater Avenue. The PUD required helicopter assistance because some of the high voltage lines that are being located is in steep terrain. The only way you can get there is with a helicopter. The helicopter work will take place April 7th through the 11th, depending on the weather. Chelan County Court Commissioner Tracy Brandt has spent a lot of time in juvenile and family court in her career. She was appointed to her current role in 2018, and since then, she's helped implement the court's youth mentoring program. Brandt says she was inspired to begin the program after seeing so many youth come into juvenile court without a trusted adult. She partnered with County Juvenile Director Corey Stevens to get it going, and now she partners adults with youth appearing in juvenile court. Brandt was featured on the latest episode of Chelan County Connections and spoke about what it takes to be a mentor in the program.
We have 13 mentors, active mentors right now, and then we have 25 kids that are actively being mentored, and we have 51 youth that have been through the program. And the way this works, it's not just a set, it starts and it ends. Once we assign a youth to an adult, the expectation is that relationship continues. It's not just when they're on probation or when they're in our court. And so we are very selective of the mentors that we choose because they need to understand what kind of commitment this is before they get involved. I'll tell you, the 13 mentors that I have right now are worth their weight in gold. They are incredible, amazing, giving, selfless, loving people. We are so fortunate to have the people that we have in our program, and they love kids. They're passionate about helping people, about kids in general. And one of the things that I love about our mentors, and really kind of is the theme that I try to have in my court, is we don't give up on kids, no matter what. They're very committed. They know that this is not for the faint of heart. That's one of the reasons why we like them to come observe court, because, some of these kids are involved in gang activity. They have drug addiction, mental health issues. And so it's important that a mentor is, aware of what they're getting into or what they're going to be exposed to by becoming a mentor. Well, I guess I would just encourage people, if they are interested, to be a mentor, or even just to know what's going on in juvenile court. It's an open court, and I always welcome people. I know Chelan County Juvenile, I say it all the time, and I think people think I'm biased, but as a defense attorney, I worked in a lot of courts. I've traveled a lot. There is not another court that I've seen that does it like Chelan County, and I'm so grateful for the people from detention to probation to the mentors, to everybody that's involved. We have a really special thing that we're doing, and I'm super grateful.
4 Chelan High School students won first place in the State Skills USA Teamworks competition. It was held last weekend. Gabe Gilpin, Logan Watson, Tristan Sanderson, and Wade Sanderson, they worked together to earn the top honor. The competition included framing, electrical wiring, plumbing, and masonry. According to Chelan High School, the students were the only regular high school competitors in the Teamworks category. Their opponents all came from specialty trade schools. Skills USA is a national program that prepares students to be career ready. I wish they had that when I was in high school. Maybe I'd have a career. And that is the news on this Friday. One more newscast to get your weekend going, to be informed about what the heck's going on around here, and there has a tendency to be a lot. The evening news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. 5, 6, and 10 right here on the NCWLIFE channel. That's when it's on the air. We understand you can't necessarily carve out those exact times to watch the news, so we put it on the World Wide Web. Our newscast right around 5 o'clock, give or take a couple, on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com, and our Facebook page, on our YouTube page. We have an app, we have an Instagram, we have X. Somebody else handles that. I don't. Quite frankly, I find it scary. And if you're out and about and you see something that might be newsworthy, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. The weekend in sports is going to be a busy one. I'll tell you all about it in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
22 minutes after the hour, the Mariners on their first road trip of the year. They didn't have to go very far. They're not going to be there very long. They're in the city by the bay for a 3-game series against the Giants. Now, you see today's starting pitcher. His name is Luis Castillo, but no, he's not the one that we're used to. They call him up from AAA Tacoma. He's going to make his major league start tonight. He shares the same name as one of the best pitchers in the American League, Luis Castillo. So now we have 2 Luis Castillos on the pitching staff. They're going to go by LF Castillo. Congratulations to him. Don't confuse me. He'll take on Justin Verlander this afternoon. It'll be Bryce Miller pitching for the Mariners tomorrow. Then they close it up on Sunday afternoon with Brian Wu taking the mound. Just one game yesterday in the American League West. The Astros got by the Twins 5-2. Thursdays and Mondays are the quiet days of Major League Baseball. Everybody goes back to work today. Kraken, they don't go back to work till tomorrow. They'll be in San Jose to take on the only team that's worse in the Pacific than they are. The San Jose Sharks, who have not been very good for quite some time. It's the Kraken and the Sharks, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Kong TV. Of course, both teams were eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs quite some time ago. Just one prep baseball game to pass along in a non-leaguer. Quincy, 10-run Cascade, actually 11-runned them. The final there, the Jackrabbits over the Kodiaks, 12-1. A lot of baseball today. Wenatchee hits the road to take on Sunnyside. That's 1 o'clock for the first pitch on a doubleheader for 2 reasons. Number one, spring break begins today, and it's a long trip to Sunnyside, and they don't have any lights. So they got to make sure they get both games in before it gets dark. So 1 o'clock first pitch for game 1 of Wenatchee and Sunnyside. Royal will take on Chelan, but that game is actually going to be in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. So it's Royal and Chelan in Yakima at 3 o'clock in baseball. Doubleheader, Eastmont will welcome Davis. At 4 o'clock, Eisenhower will have the Moses Lake team coming to town at 4 o'clock. Also at 4 o'clock, it's Cle Elum at Cashmere. And then also in Yakima, Keona Benton will take on Chelan at 5:30. That's today. Prep baseball tomorrow. Toppenish will be at Ephrata. They'll be going at 11 a.m. First of a doubleheader. Just a single game between Okanagan and Brewster at 11 a.m. Lake Roosevelt and Warden in Warden at 11 a.m. Liberty Bell will take on Jenkins in a doubleheader. That gets going at noon. Colfax and Lake Roosevelt again in Warden, not in Lake Roosevelt at 4 o'clock, and then Cle Elum at 1 o'clock, and then Cle Elum and Brewster at 1 o'clock. As far as softball is concerned, Ephrata will be at Sela, doubleheader. In fact, doubleheaders across the board today. 3 o'clock first pitch there. Quincy at Ellensburg. Game 1 gets going at 3 o'clock. At 3:30, it's Eisenhower at Moses Lake. Sunnyside will play Wenatchee's new facility with a doubleheader beginning at 4, and Eastmont is on the road to Yakima to take on Davis at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow on the fast pitch schedule, a couple of doubleheaders and a couple of non-doubleheaders. Chelan at Clay Elum, first pitch, first game at 11 a.m. at 12 noon. Eastmont welcomes Issaquah for a couple of games at Sterling Junior High. Lake Roosevelt will be at Warden at 11 a.m. and Lake Christian will take on Lake Roosevelt in Warden at 1 p.m. Prep soccer today, pretty light. Eastmont will be at Davis at 5 o'clock, and Moses Lake and Wenatchee will do battle. We will have that for you right here on the NCWLIFE channel. And the prep soccer schedule for tomorrow, you got Ellensburg at Quincy at noon. Ephrata and Othello will do battle at noon. Brewster welcomes Cashmere to town at 1 o'clock. And yep, we have soccer tonight again. Moses Lake and Wenatchee leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. The Panthers will try to keep their undefeated record so far alive. Sebastian Moraga with the play-by-play. Matt Wisen will be your soccer expert. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 26 minutes after the hour, among the obscure holidays, it is Peace Day in Angola, which is ironic because they had a civil war that lasted 30 years. They've gotten past it. It's Independence Day in Senegal. It's National Vitamin C Day. It's National Walk to Work Day, which I do every day. It's National Hug a Newsperson Day today. Jefferson, you're in for a surprise when you get in, buddy. It's National School Librarian Day. It's National Chicken Cordon Bleu Day. But today, as we throw up the graphic for the obscure holiday, it's pretty self-explanatory. Nope, it's not Pinocchio Day. It's Tell a Lie Day today. Of course, Pinocchio, you can't be a real boy. He's a wooden puppet, but he can't turn himself into a real boy unless he stops lying. We all know about it. Now, there are good lies. There are little white lies that you need to tell other people just because you don't want to make them feel bad. And that's really, I mean, we're not actually encouraging people to go out and lie, but there are acceptable lies, such as a little white lie that doesn't make another person feel bad about whatever it must be. And of course, there's a lot of gambling games that lying is the entire object of it. You know, like poker. If you're a decent poker player, if you can't bluff, you're not going to win a great deal of the games, and bluffing is essentially lying. So, you know, it's National Tell a Lie Day. Just don't overdo it, okay? It's 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, guess that flag. Yeah, well, it's the flag as we know it. April 4th, 1818, 207 years ago today, the United States Congress adopts the flag of the United States as we know it. Back then, before they passed it, as each new state joined the Union, they got a star and a stripe. So at this point, on April 4th, 1818, there were 20 stars and 20 stripes, and a U.S. naval captain by the name of Sam Reed said, this isn't going to work. I mean, every time we add a state, the star's okay, but adding another stripe, I mean, this is not going to be good. So it was Sam Reed from the Navy who came up with the idea that the flag stay at 20 stars. When each new state is admitted, we add a star, but we remove 7 of the stripes, and we go back to 13 stripes to honor the original 13 colonies. Good job, Sam. So the flag as we know it, anyway, the current design, is 207 years old today. Happy 175th birthday to Guess That Flag. That's pretty obvious. April 4th, 1850. It says 1781, but Los Angeles, California was incorporated as a city on this date in 1850. When LA was founded, the city's full name was El Pueblo de Nuestra Señorita de Los Angeles sobre de los something. I'm terrible at Spanish. They got smart and shortened it to Los Angeles. If you happen to visit the LA coroner's office, I hope you don't have to, but if you do, by the way, they have a gift shop. They have a gift shop at the coroner's office. Among the more interesting laws in Los Angeles, pickles cannot be manufactured within the downtown industrial zone. Why, I don't know. The film industry moved to Los Angeles for 2 reasons. Number one, the weather was nice and they needed to shoot outside with lots of sunshine. But more importantly, the film industry moved from New York and New Jersey to LA to get away from Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, of course, owned the patents to almost all of the filmmaking equipment back in the day, and he was very, well, aggressive about enforcing his intellectual property claims, and so filmmakers said if we move to the other side of the country, maybe Thomas won't notice. And there are more cars than people in LA, which is why it's hard to find parking. Happy 175th birthday, Los Angeles. 61 years ago today, for the week ending Friday, April 4th, 1964, the top 5 songs of the Billboard Hot 100. Number 5, Please Please Me by the Beatles. Number 4, I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. Number 3, Roll Over Beethoven by the Beatles. The number 2 song in America, Love Me Do by the Beatles. And a number 1 after just 2 weeks on the chart, Can't Buy Me Love by the Beatles. The Beatles occupy the top 5 positions on the Billboard Hot 100. Unbelievable. By the way, they also had another 9 45s on the chart. So they actually had 14 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 on April 4th, 1964. We will never see that again. April 4th, 1968, 57 years ago today. After dressing for dinner at the Lorraine Motel in downtown Memphis, Tennessee, Martin Luther King steps out onto the balcony. Here is Walter Cronkite from the CBS Evening News.
Good evening. Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee. Police have issued an all-points bulletin for a well-dressed young white man seen running from the scene. Officers also reportedly chased and fired on a radio-equipped car containing 2 white men. Dr. King was standing on the balcony of a second-floor hotel room tonight when, according to a companion, a shot was fired from across the street. In the friend's words, the bullet exploded in his face. Police, who have been keeping a close watch over the Nobel Peace Prize winner because of Memphis' turbulent racial situation, were on the scene almost immediately. They rushed the 39-year-old Negro leader to a hospital where he died of a bullet wound in the neck. Police said they found a high-powered hunting rifle about a block from the hotel, but it was not immediately identified as the murder weapon. Mayor Henry Loeb has reinstated the dusk-to-dawn curfew he imposed on the city last week when a march led by Dr. King erupted in violence.
On this date, 57 years ago today, and the behemoth that is now Microsoft started 50 years ago today. It's their golden anniversary, April 4th, 1975, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Bill Gates and Paul Allen form a partnership that is called Microsoft, one of the few companies in the history of the world that actually changed the history of the world. How much money did Microsoft earn last year? We're talking profit. After all the checks were written, they made $72.4 billion last year. Microsoft is 50 years old today. Birthdays. 2 heavenly birthdays. He was born McKinley Morganfield in rural Mississippi back in 1913. Grew up with the blues, the rural blues, and as soon as he found his calling, Muddy Waters beat butt for Chicago. Signed with Chess Records, and the rest is history. He took the blues that he grew up with and electrified it. And they all followed along, including the legendary Howlin' Wolf. But Muddy Waters, born this day in 1913, rolling and a tumbling, hoochie coochie man, mannish boy, got my mojo working. I played Muddy Waters at my desk this morning because I was the only one here. So what do they care? Muddy Waters, the legend, born in 1913. I'll play some more Muddy Waters before this weekend is over. A. Bartlett Giamatti, the 7th commissioner of baseball, the president of Yale, then the president of the National League, and then he took over for Peter Ueberroth in 1989. He is the one who gave Pete Rose his lifetime ban from baseball, and then 2 weeks later he died of a heart attack at the age of 51. Craig T. Nelson is 81 years old. He was born and raised in Spokane, probably best known as Coach. Of course, he was in Poltergeist and Parenthood and a number of television shows. And I wonder if he's still speaking to his manager, his agent, because he was offered the lead role in Modern Family. He auditioned for it. He was the first pick of the producers to play the patriarch, Jay Pritchard, but they couldn't agree on a salary. He wanted a little too much more money than the producers wanted to pay him, and so they went with their second choice, Ed O'Neill, And Craig T. Nelson lost out on a big fat paycheck. He is 81 years old today. And Robert Downey Jr., very good at when I'm channel flipping and he's on TV, I have a tendency to watch. Robert Downey Jr., who now finally has an Academy Award after being nominated 8,000 times, is 60 years old today. Welcome to the club, Bob. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Ask about their Cash for Clunkers program. It's actually not that expensive to get yourself a brand new HVAC system, at least the guts of it. You don't have to rip out all the ductwork and everything, but just get something much more efficient than maybe what you already have. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike McNulty has got an opinion about Facebook, or as I like to call it, in your Facebook. And then less than 3 weeks, the Apple Blossom Festival will be upon us. We'll talk all things Apple Blossom with Darcy Christofferson. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey. If it feels like everything you say to your teenager goes in one ear and out the other, you're not alone. But even when it seems like they aren't listening, they are, especially when it comes to a topic like drugs. Find time in everyday moments to share facts, teach refusal skills, and answer their questions about drugs, including opioids like fentanyl, because your words matter. Get the conversation started today.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, Washington Trust Bank can help you get there. Learn more at watrust.com/awesome.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNulty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, Facebook isn't going to fact check anymore. Well, so what? Since when are we expected to be able to accept and believe everything we see or read on a social media site? And why would you expect Marky Zuckerberg, of all people, to accurately check facts for you anyway? I mean, Meta, for whom Marky is the chief executive, donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inaugural fund. Oh, fact-checking? Yeah, okay. And we all know what a truth teller our president is. And facts, since when do they matter? Different polls give different stats, but a very significant number of people in this country still believe the big lie that DJT won the 2020 election. Facebook isn't fact-checking anymore? Who cares? This is Mike Mad Dog McNulty, and that's my opinion.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today. At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today and let's find your happy place.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected four-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
We are here in the commodious offices of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, the Carnegie Building, here in downtown Wenatchee, to talk about the Apple Blossom Festival. The 106th edition is right around the corner. Where did the time go? It seems like 2 days ago, Darcy Christopherson, by the way, making her first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the festival administrator. Wasn't it like 2 weeks ago we were at the Numerica Pack watching the Royal Court getting crowned, and now it's April and we're here.
Yep. I always say that. It's like once pageant's here, it just goes by so fast for all of us. So yep, we're here. We're excited for the festival. The dates are April 24th through May 4th. And the city's been working on the park. They've cut some branches down and a few trees that weren't doing well, and so it looks really nice in the park. And then of course we'll put in all the food vendors and everything, and it'll be a little brown after that.
There are a lot of festivals in and around the Pacific Northwest and all over the place really that don't have the campus that we do.
Yes.
It's a historic old park that's 120 years old, and it's right in the heart of downtown with those big beautiful trees, a place to put the stage, place to put the beer garden, place for everything. There can be no better location for everything that's going to happen for those 10 days in Memorial Park.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's like built for it.
Yep, it is. And it's the same park that was used 106 years ago. So that's what's really fun about it, is we've been able to, use this park for 106 years and add things to it and still make it, very successful. So
you get it.
Awesome.
You can feel the history of the Apple Blossom Festival
for
in
sure.
the park.
And we're just so blessed to have a city, both East Wenatchee and Wenatchee, and a county that watches over us and just lets us continue to do what we do. A lot of festivals don't have that. They don't have any support from their city. So we're just so lucky to be able to continue, because it really would not happen if we had a lot of fees tagged on. A lot of cities charge for painting the streets. They charge the festival for that, and we just wake up in the morning and our banners are up and our apples are painted and the branches are cut. So we're very, very lucky for sure.
One of the things that luck has nothing to do with is the skill and determination of the judges who pick the Royal Court every year, the Queen and the two Princesses. They did it again. I mean, this is a wonderful group of young ladies who have already been representing the Valley very well.
Yes. They are just a very sweet and well-rounded group of girls. They walk in a room and people just fall in love with them. They just have a certain type of energy that people love. So they've been busy. They have gone to some service clubs. Next week is spring break, so we give them that week off. And then literally when they come back, it'll be every day they'll have something. But right now they've been delivering sponsor pictures. We have the photos done that Parsons did, and Parsons outdid themselves this year. We all love the background, and of course when you have adorable girls, it's easy to take the pictures. But so they've been delivering to all the sponsors this week, and then they'll have spring break, and then they will just go all over the place and be super busy.
When you see the portraits that, again, the Parsons did, and they did such a fantastic job, that is a long day for those three ladies, because there's costume changes.
Yep.
There's it's not you come in, take some pictures, and get out of there. They're there for hours.
It's a long day. We're there. We usually get there. They go get their hair done about 8. They went to Feathered and got their hair done, and then we start about 9 in the formals, and then we're usually out of there by 3. But we always take the Abby's Pizza picture in the formals, so that's always a nice break to eat some Abby's Pizza. But yeah, we're usually out of there at 3. But these girls did a great job. I think it was one of the quicker groups.
It's not
we've
easy
ever
to
had.
smile for 6 hours.
Yeah,
It just
and
isn't.
having that change, which I always remind them that you have so many changes because you've been so blessed to receive so many amazing items from our sponsors and our community. So I remind them that
Do you need to remind them that this is going to be that special little 2-month period of their lives that they're never going to forget? Because you're 40 years removed now from your reign. I needed to mention that. If I mentioned that it was Julie's, I won't get into that. Do they understand that they have to pocket some of these memories to draw back on 10, 20, 30 years from now?
I don't think with this group I really have to remind them of that. They're very aware of how special this is, and that they'll never have this opportunity to do something like this again. So this group, you don't have to do that too. They get it.
It could be because there's so much more of it now. I mean, you go back to even 50, 60 years ago, there's not that many pictures.
Right.
And films and videos of all the elements. And now it's because of social media.
Right.
It's
I
everywhere.
think too, we have amazing chaperones this year. Jan Crawlard, who was a queen in '76, and then Terry Van Horn, who grew up here. She was a chaperone for the junior royalty, which was nice for her to be a part of that process and then be a chaperone. So these chaperones get it. They've experienced it. Terry's one of my dearest friends, so she kind of had that experience with me when I was queen and watched me go through all that. So.
And how long ago was that?
That was 25 years ago. No, that sounds way better than 40.
Real quickly before I forget, you guys have been in the surprise business the last couple of weeks. First of all, you cruised up to Brewster and you surprised Cass and his lovely wife, Alicia. Cass Gebbers from Gebbers Farms and Gebbers Orchards, the Apple Citizen of the Year. And let me say personally, I've known Cass for a long time. It's about time.
Yes,
Cass
I know. I was so excited.
Talk about that. That was cool.
Yeah, so we have a group of Apple industry people and past recipients of the Apple Citizen of the Year that combine this, that make this list happen. And they literally give me the names 5 years in advance. So this was a new crop. So when I saw Cass on that list, I was so excited. But it was a process to try to surprise him. I mean, I've known for a year, and getting him in one place was so hard. So that's why we ended up going to Brewster, because we knew he was going to be at this one board meeting for sure, and that's why we did it. But at one time we were going to Yakima for the Apple Commission board meeting just to try to surprise him. But it's cool, and that's really what's fun too about this job, is to be able to do fun things like that. We did Grand Marshal yesterday with the royalty, and the girls walked out of there and went, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun!"
And Dory was honestly surprised.
Shocked. She was so shocked, and they deserve it. We've honored the Community Foundation before, and Wenatchee Valley College, and the committee was like, "Why haven't we ever honored the YMCA?" So it's going to be fun.
And Dory is a perfect example. Dory and her husband have been in the Valley for less than a decade.
Yes.
But they, like a lot of people, say this is our home. We're going to be fully vested in the community. They dove in off the deep end, off the diving board, and I can't think of a better recipient for the Grand Marshal for this Milk Growers Grand Parade than Dory Foster. She deserves it.
It's going to be great. It'll be great. So she'll definitely be in a car, and then I mentioned to the board members that were there yesterday that they should all walk with the car and wave and
And since Darcy gets what she wants.
Well, they go walk, and I'm like, yeah, you can walk in the parade. It's not that far.
Tenaplex Youth Parade logo winner Bennett Collins.
Yes.
That is one of the coolest logos because that
so cute.
It's a kid's logo, but it encapsulates the spirit of the Tenaplex Youth Parade.
Yep.
Again, a surprise thing. You showed up at the school with the Royal Court.
Yep, we showed up
go.
at Garden City Academy, and they had a pretend recess, and we broke in and surprised him. And he's 7 years old, second grader. Ironically, his sister was the first recipient 2 years ago. So she did our first official Youth Parade logo. And so that was kind of fun to have him be a part of it. But that's the best new thing ever, is to have these logo competitions, because we did that for the Youth Parade. And then we also did it this year for our official logo. So we have our official logo that is done by Lisa Zanol. And then we have our volunteer logo, which is done by a girl named Kelly Johnson. So yeah, it's been fun.
I think Bennett liked the plaque. I think he really liked the $100.
Oh yeah, the $100 is what he's like, what? So he's very excited about that. Yes.
A couple of new things for Blossoms and Brews, which is my current new favorite tradition.
Everyone's favorite tradition.
Let's stick our toe in the water, said Alex all those years ago, and now it's one of the cornerstones of the festival.
12 years.
You've changed one of the ways you are getting in and purchasing your adult beverage. Capital idea. Talk about this.
Well, we've just learned that people like to purchase a lot of tickets in advance, so then they don't have to worry about that throughout the 11 days. So we're running a special right now online. Number one is our Fast Pass, which will get you into the beer garden, so you don't have to pay a cover charge. And then you also receive 4 beer tokens for that, $50, and that is only online. So from now until April 15th, you get to purchase a Fast Pass online.
And they're limited.
Yes. Well, after April 15th, we don't sell them anymore.
Right.
And then the next thing is you can purchase your 10 tickets for $75. So normally it's $9 a ticket, which would be $90. So we are running, and this goes on throughout the whole festival. So you can purchase them online ahead of time if you want. We'll get them all ready for you. You can come by the office and get them. Or you can do it, Thursday opening day, buy your 10 tickets, and then you're good for the rest of the festival.
So if you do the Fast Pass and buy your beer tickets in advance, you don't have to worry about any lines.
Anything.
You just show your pass and you already got your tickets, so you don't have to get in the line to buy the tickets.
Yep. So for $125, you get your Fast Pass, you get 4 tokens, and then you get 10 tickets.
That's a good deal.
And that's a good deal.
That's a good
deal, and people really like that because, again, it lasts the whole 11 days, and they can, it's great for couples.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
And finally, most of the deadlines have passed with a couple of exceptions. I mean, like the parade entry, you can't do that anymore. And the Tenaplex Youth Parade, I'm still getting used to that, by the way. I'm getting better.
You're getting better.
I'm getting better by saying Tenaplex Youth Parade. But there are still some things that people can participate in, but they're running out of time. Talk about some of the deadlines that are coming up.
Yep. So all of our entries for the parade and arts and crafts, and pretty much our golf tournament too. Our golf tournament is on May 9th. Washington Trust Bank is our sponsor for that. I think we have 3 teams open, and that's it. So you can go online and do that. You have to be a foursome, though, in order to do that. But you can still be a business or a nonprofit and fill out an application for Youth Day, which is a great opportunity for you as a business to promote your business. But you do need to have a game or items that you would hand out to 4,000 to 5,000 kids. That's a really fun event, though, and I really encourage businesses to do that. And then our Art for Kids program, that is a 3-day drop-in process. So you can go online to get the application, but then the drop-in is here at the festival office on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the weekend before the weekend of Apple Blossom.
Celebrating her 25th anniversary of reigning over the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Festival Administrator Darcy Christofferson, thanks for taking time out of your busy day.
Of course, yes.
Everything we talked about, appleblossom.org, appleblossom.org. Yep. We got to get together with those folks in Virginia and see if we can get their domain.
Everybody knows we're appleblossom.org, and we have way more followers than they do.
You're right about that. Thank you for letting us visit with you here in the lovely foyer of your building. I wanted to do this with the Wall of Royalty. behind
this
us.
is the 80s and 90s wall. So it starts here, and then the 90s are over on the other side. And then going up the stairs is the 70s wall. And then downstairs is 2000 on. So we have lots of years up here. Look at that.
And number 106 is right around the corner.
Yes, it's amazing.
Darcy, it's nice meeting you. Thanks for doing the
Nice
show for the
meeting
first
you.
time. We'll have to have you come on more often. Work for you?
Anytime for you, anything.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
Bienvenido al Centro de Resolución de Conflictos. Brindamos servicios a los condados de Grant y Adams, ayudando a empresas y personas a resolver problemas difíciles. Ofrecemos ayuda con conflictos de trabajo, problemas residenciales y asuntos familiares. Podemos capacitar a su personal en habilidades de prevención y resolución de conflictos. Llámenos al 509-237-3705 para obtener más información.
Save hundreds, one seat at a time, at Boswell's. Right now, take $200 off each stressless seat. This includes each stressless Laurel and Mint dining chair and home office chair, each stressless recliner, and each stressless sofa seat. Spring is here. Refresh your home with stressless seating for less. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Spring into the good life. World-class wine, food, and hospitality meet on the shores of Lake Chelan. Chelan Cellars, bringing great wine, food, friends, and family together where vineyards and the good life bloom every spring.
Tipsy Canyon Winery has become the place to go for fine wine and unbelievable views of the Chelan Valley. Tipsy Canyon Winery is a year-round destination for wine lovers, so stay for the moment that becomes the memory at Tipsy Canyon Winery. Beautiful spring day, and the best looking weekend of the year so far is right on our doorstep. We're at 39 degrees right now. Omak is starting to catch up. If you're just joining us at the start of the show, Omak was at 28. A little chilly, not unheard of, but it was a little on the cool side. They've already popped up to 37 degrees, so it's already warmed up 10 degrees in Omak just in the last hour. Very pleasant day today. We hit 62 yesterday. We'll be right around there for the next couple of days. In fact, really starting yesterday, today, tomorrow, and most of Sunday looks mighty fine indeed. There's a lot of outdoor activities going on all over the Wenatchee Valley, and Mother Nature says, let's give you guys some nice weather. We earn our springs and we earn our summers by having to slog through wintertime, and Mother Nature says, here you go, Wenatchee Valley. It's looking good. High pressure is building over the region. It's not a big ridge of high pressure. In fact, it's kind of a flat high pressure ridge, which is why we see a few high clouds coming in over the top of it. And that means even though it's not very weak and it's not a big dome, there's also nothing out there to really knock it out of alignment. So it's going to stick around for the next 2.5 days, and it's going to slowly slide its way to the Idaho Panhandle and eventually into western Montana. There's been parts of this country that's been dealing with some very severe weather that rarely happens here in the Wenatchee Valley, and it's certainly not going to happen during our forecast period. Here we go. Sunshine, you want it? You're going to have it today. Again, just a few high clouds passing around. We'll top off close to the 60-degree mark. Again, we hit 62 yesterday, and these days are getting longer. 13 hours and 3 minutes of daylight today, with sunrise this morning already happened at 6:33. Sunset tonight, not till 7:35. I like that. Partly cloudy tonight, 36 for the overnight low. Sunshine Saturday all day long, with a high of about 62 or 63 degrees. Could get even warmer out in the Columbia Basin. You folks out in Moses Lake and to the south of us, Yakima, Tri-Cities, you could be getting close to 70 by the time we get to Sunday. Probably not here in the Wenatchee Valley, because Sunday afternoon into the early evening hours, say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, By that time, the clouds will have rolled in on Sunday, and we're looking at rain actually Sunday night into Monday, but not too bad next week. Have yourself a great weekend. Start next week with us. Until then, bye-bye.